Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be trying something new on my channel. I'm just going to be telling you guys about some of the things I've experienced in my house and in my room particularly because it's been kind of bugging me for about a year and a half. Decided I'd share it with you guys. I don't know if you guys believe in supernatural stuff or ghosts or any of that, so let's just get right into it. So I've always really loved supernatural ghost shit. I always loved it. Quirky girl, you know, love supernatural shit. Anyway, and then it started happening to me, which is scary as fuck, but it doesn't bother me as much as it probably should. So it all kind of started with the attic outside of my bedroom. My sister moved to Vancouver about a couple years ago, so me being the little bitch that I am, I stole her room the first chance I got. I used to have a bedroom downstairs, and then I took the one upstairs, and it happens to be the only bedroom upstairs when my sister isn't visiting. And at first it didn't bother me being upstairs until I started hearing things, and it kind of started with like things falling in the extra bedroom upstairs, or I would hear things like little footsteps in the middle of the night and I would just kind of brush it off. Of course, every time I would hear things, it would be from 3 to 5 in the morning and they'd be loud enough to wake me up. It's super cliche, I know, 3 in the morning, like fuck me, right? But whatever. So I would always wake up in the morning and I'd ask my dad, why were you up in the middle of the night? Like, why were you walking around in the middle of the night? Or did you grab a glass of water? Like, what was going on? And he would always just reply with, no, what do you mean? I wasn't upstairs. Like, you're just hearing things. When Taylor's gone, my other sister and my little brother and my mom and my dad are all here. So when my dad said it wasn't him, of course, I would go ask everyone else in the house, trying to sort of not be so spooked out that there was footsteps in the middle of the night, and I'd just try to find a logical explanation as to why I was hearing footsteps. So I'd get the same response from every single one of them. No, I wasn't up in the middle of the night, like, you're just hearing things. So I always just believed it to be them getting up in the middle of the night and not remembering, being half asleep, or just them not remembering, basically, until this happened. I have an attic, but it doesn't have a staircase coming down that you can, retract. It's just this wooden plank that you have to push up about a foot and then to the side once you get it to the top, and then you just sort of basically grab it and lift yourself up. The wooden piece that you have to push up is extremely heavy. Even I have a hard time lifting it up alone. And FYI, my attic is not furnished whatsoever. It's just insulation, no flooring. We don't keep anything up there. It's just an attic. So it came to a point where I just kind of got used to it. But then there was a week that went by where all the noises just stopped. But during that week, I got really bad sleep paralysis, night terrors. It was just really shitty. I could never get a full night's sleep. I was up all night, and when I was sleeping, I would wake up in a panic and sweating and freaking the fuck out because I would have really bad sleep paralysis. So for those of you that don't know, sleep paralysis is basically, my experience with it is I wake up, but then I try to move and I can't. So basically you're paralyzed, but you're conscious. So your body's still sleeping, but your mind is fully awake. I would hallucinate things because I was still dreaming in a sense. So I could see black figures in the corner of my room walking towards me. They would disappear. They would pop up at the end of my bed, stare at me. They didn't have a face, it was just a black shadow, black figure. Sometimes I could hear things. I could hear them rummaging through my closet or through my backpack that I always keep beside my bed. So that really freaked me out because seeing things is one thing, but hearing them just kind of justifies that it's actually happening in a sense to me. So that was fucking terrifying, and I hated every minute of it. So it would leave me terrified to go to bed, and I would try to avoid sleeping as much in my room as possible because that's really only where it happened. And my sister always used to tell me that she would experience shit in there, and she saw ghosts in there, and I was always just like, no, you're just being a bitch because you don't want me to steal your room when you're gone. So I would always just brush it off and be like, oh, you're fucking with me, there's no way. So she would always tell me, it's a nice ghost, he's just an elderly man that sits on the chair beside my door, and I was always like, yeah, you're fucking a liar, you're bullshitting. So she always said it was a nice ghost. It didn't feel like a nice ghost with what I was experiencing. It just felt wrong and menacing and creepy and gross, and it always just left me with a pit in my stomach. So every time I would try to go to bed, a menacing, gross feeling would just creep into my mind and I would just feel paralyzed. So when I would wake up in the middle of the night and hear these things, I would just be too paralyzed to get out of my bed, too scared to move. I thought that whatever it was, maybe if it thought I was sleeping, it wouldn't fucking kill me. So I always just pretended to sleep. So I'd lay there for hours on end, just scared shitless out of my mind, too scared to make the trip from my upstairs room to downstairs. For a week, I had a really bad sleep paralysis, so I always tried to find a logical explanation or joke myself out of what I was experiencing. Our house is very old, so creaking is inevitable. It'll obviously happen in any old house. But a creak is pretty distinguishable from footsteps. I think there's a pretty big difference there. So I knew for sure what I was hearing wasn't just the creaking of the house. So when I started hearing footsteps come from above me, that's when shit just kind of hit the fan and freaked me the fuck out. So eventually the sleep paralysis got better. I went to the doctor and got sleeping medication, and it would just knock me out. It left me feeling like shit every morning, but I would way rather take that than be up all night hearing creepy shit alone upstairs. And then I guess my body got used to it, so it started to not work as well, and so I just stopped taking it altogether. So then I had really bad problems with being able to sleep. I would wait until either the sun came out and I felt safe enough to sleep, or I just wouldn't sleep at all. And not sleeping is the exact opposite of what you would want, because you don't want to be alone and awake with whatever the fuck is in your house all night. If I was sleeping, I could at least get away from it for a little bit, but not being able to sleep was just on a whole nother level fucked up. So one night the noises were especially bad and just different than most nights. It wasn't just coming from up there, it was coming from outside my door, it was coming from outside my window. Probably was just a whole bunch of drunk fucks coming back from Whiskey Jack's for all I know. As I said, no one goes in the attic, there's nothing up there, we don't put storage up there, you just don't go up there, nobody goes up there. The wood panel, as I mentioned, is extremely heavy, and you need a chair to get up there, and my living room is far away from where the attic is, far away enough so that I would be able to hear if someone grabbed a chair and put it in front of my door where the attic is and went up there. So I would hear the chair sliding, or I would hear it being picked up and set down. So to my surprise, when I heard noises in the early hours of the morning, it was just another night and just kind of dealt with it. I eventually lulled myself back to sleep, and when I woke up in the morning, I found something pretty fucked up. So I came outside of my room, I looked up, and of course, the wood panel that you use to get into the attic was pushed up and to the side. So whoever or whatever went into there didn't even put it back down. There was no chair underneath it, so it put it back, or whatever the fuck happened. So I just kind of looked at that and went, of fucking course that would happen to me, and of course I would be the only one to see it. So immediately I started asking all the family members in my house, and none of them know about any of the shit that had been happening to me previously. I just told them I had sleep issues, and that's when I went to the doctor and got sleeping medication. So it wasn't any of them pranking me or trying to fuck with me, in a sense. So my dad started brushing it off and just being like, haha, it must have been the wind, right? And I'm like, haha, you're an asshole. Like, no, that's not what it was. And I just got this disgusting pit in my stomach that just didn't feel right. Like, something was wrong. I don't know who did that or what did that, but it felt weird. And like I said, I would have heard someone going up there. I can barely lift that wooden panel myself. Why wouldn't whatever it is put it back if they didn't want anybody knowing? So I started getting creeped out about this video that I saw of this girl living in this guy's apartment for like weeks, and he didn't have a clue. All he heard was noises, so he put up cameras and he saw someone living in his attic. So I was just like, okay, not a big deal, someone's just living in my fucking attic. You know, they just might come down, steal some food, go back up there for the night and have a little rest. But that's not possible because it was summertime, and there is a vent at the end of the attic that is basically a window. It just lets everything in. In winter, it's really, really cold up there, and in summer, it's so hot that you would probably die after staying in there for about an hour. So it wasn't a person, it was summertime, it was way too hot to even be bearable to stay in. So it wasn't a person. And I don't think anyone would just come in my house, just fucking open the attic door and just leave it and just piss off. Like, no. It was just really, really weird. And ever since then, shit just kind of hasn't stopped. And so it's just kind of been the same, not worse, not better, since probably August now. But not too long ago, I went to an abandoned city/asylum with my friends. We brought a Ouija board. My friend ended up not wanting the Ouija board, so I brought it home. So it's sitting in my room, so I probably pissed off whatever it is that's in my house. So I guess I'll just let you guys know how things go and if I don't die. So that was my little story time for you guys. I don't know how interesting these are to you, but if you liked it, please let me know and I will give you some more. I'll update you on the situation. The abandoned asylum/town video will be coming out hopefully soon. Thank you guys for listening to me ramble on about nonsensical shit. But if you liked it, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will update you guys soon. Alright, peace out, fuckers.